So today's it's a full moon. So, of course we'll do a little bit of looking for the moon in the sea, but maybe Lorraine, how you doing?
I could give you the PR version. It's been a very hectic morning. Things at work are weird. I'm just out of sorts.
Okay, I got you. I know those mornings. Does anybody have anything in particular that is arising for them? As far as physical issues, Mary definitely feels the need to move her body. I can tell.
I've been having digestive issues. It's kind of my whole life, but right now, especially after all the surgeries and everything, it's just my guts have no idea what's going on, and they hate me right now or something. I don't know. It's just,
No, they don't. No, they don't. Are you doing any loving kindness for them?
I probably should. I think I started to, but then, everything in my life has been kind of disappointing. So it's kind of veered off course, I guess.
Yeah. And then it feels like one more thing to have to do. Yeah.
Yes.
I hear you. Yeah, that's why when we can train ourselves to just fall into it, like when we can't sleep and you start doing the monkey mind and the twining yourself and all that to just go into loving kindness, or we're experiencing pain or discomfort just immediately, right? Because that's much better background noise than like, I'm a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right?
What the hell did
You're
I ruin
gonna have background noise.
time?
Okay, so one of the things that I was thinking about, I'm going to put my knee under your knee, is and this kind of this has come up in the last few weeks, I think. Nathaniel, do you remember when we were playing with the Taiji Mudra? And I was like, if in this moment you are, experiencing yourself as more masculine, it would be right hand. If it's feminine, left hand, right? Because it changes, right? And I even had a conversation recently with somebody who I did a podcast with recently, 2 days ago, I guess. And she was describing how like the urge to make money is like masculine. And I was like, what? Like, where does that come from? I'm like, it's a rising energy. It's a yang energy, right? It's not necessarily a masculine energy. So interesting how we label things, because we're always like positioning ourselves, right? So I kind of and then the reason that I bring that up is clearly because that's what's kind of coming up, but also because a lot of the modalities of practice that we've been doing have been in the sagittal plane, like kind of forward, and kind of more even. And so I want to bring us back to doing, and Jackson knows this practice, he did it with me when we first met, actually, which was cloud hands. And then maybe a little bit of dragon turns its head. Because I think we get stuck in labeling things. I think we do it all the time. And that's where ego grasping comes in. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's fascinating. So last night I had a dream about a ghost. Let me see what you wrote, Mary. Oh, cool. Thank you. Is that on TNL's site? If you guys want to check that out.
No, I'm just uploading the link. It's just an incredible Mingyur Rinpoche. And just in terms of what Gina was just saying is when you've got a pain or anxiety or something, instead of having aversion to it or pushing it away, just to be one with it. And he's an incredible meditation master. So anyway, I thought it would be helpful. I'll just pop the link in the chat box.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the thing is that it's Okay, they're kind of interrelated. So in my podcast, I was talking about how, like, when I'm working with trauma survivors, I never tell them that it's all in their mind. Because first of all, that's really fucked up to say, and it's totally inappropriate and it's harmful, right? But how we come to things is the quality of our mind, right? And this goes to what Mary was saying is, and in Mingyur Rinpoche, which is our ability to change our minds about something. And that begins by recognizing that we even have a mind in a way, right? And so the reason that I bring up the dream about the ghost is because I was fighting a ghost that I created, and the ghost was all about my inner bullshit. And we do this all the time, every day. Basically, it's like Fight Club. The human experience is basically Fight Club. But we do this all the time, right? We're wrestling with our own selves, and Lorraine, in the times when I've experienced extreme physical pain, I've utilized practice, either by sending loving kindness to where I'm in pain, or by being thankful that I could experience the pain so that somebody else didn't, right? But that's a lot to take on, right? So there's different stages and different paths to wrangling your mind around the experience of being human. Does that make sense? I think loving kindness is a pretty good way to start with anything. Yeah. And Anna, I know you're kind of, well, no, actually, you did practice a while ago. Do you have any questions or thoughts about anything before we? No? All right. Okay. Would you guys prefer to do microcosmic orbit or the 9 breaths of purification? Similar but different.
Microcosmic. I
Microcosmic.
express already in different meditation today. I mean,
All right, microcosmic orbit. We did this last time. Anna, you remember microcosmic? A little bit. Okay. So, as in all the practices, start with your seat. Yeah, and I'm gonna move back a little bit from Jackson. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can internally, and we are recording, okay, internally rotate the flesh of the right thigh and then the left. Start to arrange your mountain. And here, you can put this under there. So you can, yeah. And then let me get another bolster for Jackson. You can sit in the middle. More. And then this can go under here. Okay, better?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you have tight hips, and the knees are really popping up, then you want to support them, right? So that you can sit comfortably. Right, there's no reason to be in more discomfort than we already are with our lives. While also recognizing the extraordinary privilege that it is to be able to sit in a room and to practice. Yeah. Okay. So broaden the collarbones, lift up the sternum. Notice if you're leaning forward or backward. And we're actually going to start just for one moment with the hands in the Taiji Mudra. So I would just don't even think about it. Do whatever your body is inviting you to do, and take one hand over the other. The thumb webbing comes together. So in the Qigong practice, this is the traditional way to sit in meditation, like this. And then you have the hands, like thumbs like this. Yeah. And then the hands are at the lower dantian, and we'll just start with a little bit of breath work here. So take a deep inhale. Gently hold it. And exhale slowly. And again, deep inhale. And exhale slowly. And if you've not already been doing it, just begin to bring your awareness to what you hear, where you hear it in your body. We'll do that one more time. Deep inhale. Gently hold it. And exhale. And then you can release the mudra. And then bring the hands together into the pure yan mudra. So thumb, pinky, and middle finger come together in a cup. Yeah. So yan being Y-A-N. And you can kind of really think about that, right? Because when we do Tugun Nashen, the middle finger is associated with the heart and the energy of the heart, and the element is fire, right? So notice what happens when you bring those together. And then bring them just below the belly button. The earthly doors are closed, so draw up on the pelvic floor. Heavenly gate is open. And throughout the practice, you can also just gently press the tongue against the roof of the mouth. Behind the teeth, there's like this sweet spot there. And actually what we're doing when we do that is activating the pineal gland. And before we start with the microcosmic orbit, just see if you can connect to the spiritual needle that is moving up through you from the earth. And down through you from the heavens. And notice any tightness that you may have in your body. Try and release it. Try and notice if some of it is unconscious. Most of it is patterning. And on the next inhalation, begin to draw light and energy into your palms. And gently hold it. Begin to condense it. And on the exhale, allow it to flow into the lower dantian, right below the belly button. And you might even feel a wave of energy flowing through you when you do that. So we'll do 3 breaths in each dantian, probably a couple times. So 2 more here. Deep inhale. And gently hold it. And exhale. One more deep inhale. And if you feel the need to release the breath before I give the prompt, please do. Honor your lungs. And exhale. Take another inhale. And then on the exhale, send that light and energy skipping over the back of your spine, over the crown of the skull, to the upper dantian, bringing the thumbs to touch the third eye. Yeah, and you can feel your shoulder blades here really kind of holding your ribs. Feel that the whole structure is supporting itself. We'll be here for 3 breaths. So deep inhale. Gently hold it. It may even have a color for you. And then on the exhale, allow light and energy to flow into the shen, the upper dantian. Perhaps clearing away negative patterning and habituated thoughts. And again, deep inhale. Exhale. One more deep inhale. And you can think of this as also perhaps helping you to see more clearly, to speak more clearly. Exhale. You might even feel the energy flowing down into your throat. See if you can follow it. Bringing the hands down to right in front of the sternum, about 3 to 4 inches. Just soften the fingers like this. And it's just these fingers that touch. Yeah. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, nourish your heart. And again, inhale. Gently hold it. And exhale. You may also notice what it feels like to receive. What does it feel like for your heart to receive? And again, one more inhale. And gently hold it. And exhale. And inhale, slowly, slowly come back to the lower dantian. Don't forget about the earthly doors and the heavenly gate. And as we exhale here, begin to send light and energy into the lower dantian, into the root of you, but also into any organs, intestines, stomach or spleen. And again, deep inhale. Gently hold it. And exhale. And one more here, inhale. And exhale. We're going to do one more orbit. So inhale. And exhale, sending that energy over your spine, curling around the top of your skull and coming up to the third eye again. Deep inhale. And perhaps drawing in the light and the wisdom of your teachers. And to exhale, allow it to flow perhaps into every neuron of your brain. And again, deep inhale. And exhale. Perhaps you can feel it saturate even your tongue and your throat again. To fill all the words that you have about others or yourselves with compassion. And one more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, slowly, slowly come back to the middle dantian, the heart. And exhale, nourish yourself. And again, inhale. Exhale. So I'm going to ask you, all of us, to consider on the next inhalation, draw light in to your heart. And then on the exhale, send it to each other. And just notice the quality of being that arises when you do that. And then inhale. Slowly, slowly come back to the lower dantian. And exhale. So what I'm going to recommend is for the next 3 breaths, be wherever you need to be, whether it's in the lower dantian or the middle or the upper. And I can guide us through the breath work. Okay. Also, as you're sitting, remember to draw the belly button in slightly, and this will help to lengthen the spine up. All right. And perhaps even where you need to be is in sending this outward to others, right? But wherever you are, just be there for the next 3 breaths. So inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. So if your hands are at the upper dantian or the middle dantian, slowly bring them down. And inhale. Release the mudra, turning the palms up. Feel the light and the energy of the sun and the moon and the stars falling into your palm. And then turn the palms down. Feel the energy of the earth rising up to meet your hands, passing through your hands. Right, and as you slowly bring your hands down to the human, notice how you are moving chi. And then just bring your hands to your knees or your thighs and use the X-ray vision in your hands to notice muscle and bone, marrow, movement. And if your eyes were closed, gently open them. You can extend your legs long, do whatever the heck you need to do. I always feel like I could just sit there for like another half an hour, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. So as we've talked about in the past, what begins to happen is that all 3 become one. And the energy is moving like this, right? And it's fluid. And it does happen. What I clearly saw, yeah, and you can extend your legs long, and while I'm just talking for a minute, if your legs are out, put a slight bend in the knees, and then just inhale, come out the outside, exhale, come in the inside. When we were doing that practice, it's so amazing to like nourish our own hearts. And then I realized that for some of us, it's almost like a flash flood, right? If the earth is not ready, right, it just overwhelms everything. Does that make sense? And then it's just you're flooded, and then you feel totally engulfed. And then we can't bring it in. So inhale outside. Oh God, that feels good. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So any thoughts, questions, anything that has arisen? in that practice? It's always fascinating for me what comes up. Anything? While I'm here. Nothing. All right, so let's come and actually bring your feet up like this. I think we did this last time. So my feet are down on the ground. They're about hip width apart. Toes are facing forward. My fingers are facing forward as well. And I can just roll my shoulders open so I'm not collapsing in my chest. Yeah. And we're just going to let the hips come. Oh God, on other side, coordinating with my friend here. Coordinating the breath. Also for you guys, when you're doing microcosmic on your own, the breath pattern is very simple. It's just a boxed breath pattern. The inhale and the hold are the same.
Okay.
Going to the right. So notice how as you do this, maybe the movement picks up and you will eventually come to stand. Right? Spiraling energy. Everything is a spiraling energy. All right, we're going to do a quick shake. I mean, you guys know this, right? Like the double helix that makes up your DNA is the same shape that our own solar system makes as it spirals through the galaxy. I'm going to move this. And all we're doing is simply connecting to that energy. However, when you start connecting to that energy with the intention to be a kind and compassionate human being, it changes things. So we're going to start up in a mountain. So practice, don't look at your feet yet. And then notice what they're doing, right? So start to utilize your own body to know where it is. The feet are facing forward and are either hip width apart or together. If they're together, notice if having the toes together, does that make the heels come out? So just notice what your feet are doing. All right, and let's just play with this for one moment. So look down at your feet. Did they actually do what you thought they were doing? And then pick the toes up one by one, like spread them out, and then one by one try to put them down. My foot that I hurt is still not working properly. All right, and then now what we're going to do is internally rotate. So internally rotating the shin bones, but then externally rotating the thigh bones, engaging the quads, and notice how that energy moves upward. Yeah, and we'll have the hands in the Tai Chi Mudra. Wherever you are right now, either left over right, right over left, doesn't matter. This is your standing mountain. Collarbones are broad. This is one of the few people I ever feel short next to. If you're clenching your butt like I am, release it. Notice how the spine can extend. And again, just connect. Connect to energy moving through you. Connect to being energy. Connecting to energy. Notice what you hear. Where you feel that in your body. Notice what you taste. Or don't taste. Notice what you smell. See if you can settle your awareness so much that you can feel your right eardrum vibrating. And then your left. And before we go anywhere, just kind of drop your awareness into your heartbeat. And, you know, the gentle reminder, it's a beautiful song that one day you will not hear. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release the mudra, right? Allow the consciousness in your fingertips to graze the floor. Step one foot out to the right. Inhale, reach the hands up. I don't think you ever did the shake with me. This is going to be fun. Okay, reach your hands through the roof, actually through the ceiling and through the roof of your building, whatever building you're in. Reach them up so much. You can taste the sky. Okay, and I also advise you to spread the arms out a little bit so they're not so straight up, more this way, so there's more fluidity in the joints. And then inhale, maybe the heels come up. And if they don't, then to do it in your mind. Exhale. Inhale, bring the arms down. Shoulder height. Pause. Exhale, slowly bend down. Maybe the heels are still up. Nice job, Larry. And then inhale. But, oh God, and release, right? So the shake, as my friends here know, is where we undo the fuckery, right? So we're just undoing patterns in the body. I do this a lot to release tension. Undoing patterns in the body. It's also a form of discharge. So any energy that is stuck, we move it through us. And the hum sound is a traditional kind of qigong way of moving things. And so as you guys, I know we typically start up at the top of the skull, but I have found that if we open the lymph nodes, and it helps them drain everything. So just come down to the neck first. And take your hands to the side. One side. And the other side. Right, and you may already start to feel fluid draining. I am. And then come up. And the fingertips, right? So here, really feel the crown of your skull, and it's going to feel totally different than not crown of the skull, right? It may feel soft and tender. It's kind of not a bad idea to activate it and open it, right? This is where the fontanelle comes together. So in these practices, what we're doing is literally giving birth to ourselves. And if you feel like hanging out there for a while, go for it. In fact, do whatever the fuck you want, right? Gently tapping the skull or a little bit more firm. Running your fingertips through your scalp. And this is, I like doing this, right? So if you have a lot of hair, imagine what it's like to not. Imagine that your head was in fact bald. And if you have a bald head, imagine what it's like to have a lot of hair. And then we're gonna cupping the palms, so forehead to occiput. And try and do it at the same time. So one of the things that we're doing here is also restoring rhythm. So we want to find syncopation, right? And also on the sides of the skull. And again, you may start to feel all of this draining down. So we're going to methodically come down, take the thumbs into the eye ridges, helping to release the eye muscles. Too much screen time. Forefinger and middle finger clearing the sinuses. Right, and when you do that, even notice the difference between right and left, right? One might be more open than the other. And then, I know you got your glasses on, but you can put them on top of your head. And then press the heels of the hands into the eyes, gently kind of lean forward, let your head be held by your hands. And rotate the eyes clockwise and counterclockwise, about 8 times. Coming down the side of the jaw. And then press the palms into the ears and then pull away. Again, also noticing if you're experiencing anything draining down the eustachian tube. Right? These are preventative and diagnostic practices. And then you can gently pull on the ear lobes. This also helps things to drain down. And then just start to do a bit more of a vigorous shake. Clearing the chest. Arms are cupping. And the abdomen. And the legs. Coming down from the top of the leg and the foot. And the other leg. Bring up the backs, and then also when you get to the SI joint, sacroiliac joint, you can do it with the back of the hand, which is just a different technique, different sensation. Hello, liver. And then top of one arm, inside the arm. Right, for anybody that might be watching this later, if this is on YouTube at some point, right, these are good practices for dissociation. Opening up the shoulders. So what I'm doing is I'm allowing the heel to pick up, right, which makes the spiral a little bit more open. And if any of you practice martial arts, like what I'm doing also is drawing energy from the earth up my foot, up the hip, and out the shoulder. And the reason I say that is when you're doing striking, it just makes it more powerful. Like notice if your feet are planted, the rotation kind of gets stuck. For me, it gets kind of stuck in the hip. So the moment I turn the heel, the rotation can extend more and beyond. And then hips. One hip, other hip. So, because I always feel like this class could be much longer, just freestyle, right? You can fan your heart, you can do whatever you want, or you can follow with me. I'm fanning my heart. And then I'll do my favorite, releasing of the tongue and the chest muscles. You can drop the hands down, allow the head to go back and Leslie, I think I want to see what he's gonna do. Go, Mary, go. Because it feels really good to be fucking loud sometimes. Right? Especially for those of us who are not allowed to be. Because of whatever form of fucker. I'm just getting my hair clipped. So another minute. Get in your body. This precious human rebirth. Even though it might suck right now. This is also a good one. It's where you just try to like release everything and like getting water off your hands. You just be like, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit's a really good mantra, by the way. And then begin to bring it, like, I don't know, go to 50% of shake. If your chest is congested, you might notice you can break up the congestion by doing this. And then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, oh God, 3, 2, 1, just stop. Drop your awareness inside, look inside yourself. See if you can find where, like the tingly stuff is pretty apparent, right? So see if you can find where it's not. And then inhale. Step the right foot back to the left. Draw the arms around. Fingertips face each other, palms face the earth. Hands come back into the Tai Chi Mudra. Inhale. Exhale, release the mudra. Step out to the right again. So we're going to come to a horse stance. I want to do cloud hands and then we'll finish with looking for the moon and the sea. Let me just make sure I have the right time. Okay. So I don't know about you guys, but it's been raining for the last few days here in New York. And I shared once the story of when I was writing my sister's eulogy on my mom's back porch, and it was raining. And I saw how clearly it was that our lives are but the span of time it makes or it takes to fall from the earth, from the clouds to the earth. That's one life, and then back again. All right. Have your hands in the ready position. You can do a much wider horse stance over there. Yeah. Earthly door is closed, heavenly gate is open. Right, everything that rises and falls. I'm going to start with my right hand, and I'm cupping it, kind of like a monkey paw. And inhale, coming up through center. And exhale. We're just going to start off with one arm. That's it. Nice Anna. Inhale. And exhale. And then the palm kind of turns out here. So this natural rotation. Yeah. And then the left hand. Slowly, slowly. Coming up through the center line. So, and as we've done in the past, right, you can imagine or really feel, because that's how powerful our minds are, what it would feel like to do this in water. Right, and then if you maybe had to make it more dynamic and like push up through the earth, you know, like the amount of energy that it takes for a seed to push up through the earth and become a plant. And then you can even allow the rest of the body to get involved in it. Notice how you push off one foot and that energy goes up and up and around. In fact, what we're doing is kind of mimicking the very form of our own DNA. So now if you want to get really tricky about it, pause and go backwards. Hi, honest cat. That's so awesome. I love when the animals join practice. So just now, just go whichever way you want, right? But you can like move around the room with it. But notice how like one movement extends into the next, which is pretty much the way of all things. Right? Everything spreads outward. Body, speech, and mind. So for the next few minutes, 2 minutes, I encourage you, maybe close your eyes, just feel with your body. Right? Allow your hands to be your eyes. And move around the room. And if you suddenly feel like you're becoming a Jedi Master as you do this, like, go with it. Because this does go into a martial arts. Those push-outs. But don't forget the connection of your feet to the floor and of the earth to you and the sun that falls upon all of us. And every inhale that we take is the exhale of all of the plants on the planet. And then just begin to kind of slow it down. Again, so much that you can notice how you're just moving molecules of air, chi. And in this brief, short span of your life, you are energy moving energy. I suppose what matters really is what your intention is behind it. And then just pause. If you did, in fact, send light and energy out through your heart when we started. I can't speak for you, but for me, it feels fucking amazing. That's a good intention to have. So we're going to close that practice by stepping the right foot back to the left. Again, coming down through the midline, hands into the Taiji Mudra. And then we'll go into looking for the moon in the sea. So release the mudra again, step out into your horse stance. I don't think you haven't done this one with me. So in your horse stance, the feet are going to face forward unless what can often happen sometimes, the shape of the head of the femur, the acetabulum, needs the toes to turn out. Right. So notice, for me, I like the toes facing forward. Good. And then try not to lean back or forward, like be like you're on a horse, right? If you do this thing, your horse is going to take off. Be right here. I'm going to show you what this looks like from the side, for those of you that haven't done this with me. So I make a triangle with my hands. And I'm not going to overarch my lower back. I'm going to tuck slightly, triangle with my hands, and picture the moon, the full moon in that space. And the light of the moon falls right into my third eye. And then I inhale, turn my hands to face me. And then I allow the light to reflect upon my face, my eyes, throat, coming down, filling all of my organs. And then I come forward, and with 2 fingers, because I'm standing on a body of water, I trace the reflection of the moon in the sea beneath me. And then inhale, exhale, I slowly draw the moon into my body. Okay, and we're gonna do that a couple more rounds. We're running a little bit over. If you have to go, I totally get it. But I wanna just do this like 3 times with you, slowly, slowly. Our stance. Frame the moon in the sea. Make your horse stance deeper. Bend your knees more. Okay, see the moon between your hands. And for me, I like to picture the moon as the embodiment of Tara, white Tara. The Buddha of compassion, the female Buddha of compassion, and I allow the light to fall into me, right into my third eye. And then inhale. Exhale, turn your palms to face you. Inhale. Slowly, slowly coming down, reflecting upon your throat, your speech, your heart, which is your mind, all of your organs. Coming forward. Inhale. Trace the moon in the sea. Maybe your fingers even feel wet. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, gather the moon into you slowly, slowly, and allow it to nourish. Right, and whichever organ you feel needs more attention, just be there. As your hands slowly come up. And then again, we'll do this 2 more times. So framing the moon, even allowing that moonlight to fill your palms, flowing into your wrists, elbows, shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, turn your palms to face you and nourish. Slowly, slowly. Inhale, come forward. Right, and when you look down and you gaze at the moon reflected into the sea, and you look down and who else do you see? Perhaps yourself as a Tara. Inhale. Exhale, slowly coming up. And the last one more. Frame the moon. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come forward. Right, and as you drop your intention, like a stone into the water, tracing the moon into the sea, see it spread outward. May all beings everywhere be free. Inhale. And gather the merit of your intention into you and just pause. Inhale. Step the right back to the left. Hands come around, again, smoothing down the meridians of the subtle body. Just notice if there's a difference between now and before. Hands come back into the Tai Chi Mudra. Inhale. Release the mudra, turning the hands up to the heavens. Right, the light of the heavens that falls upon all of us equally. And then to the earth that supports us. And then to the human. Unfortunately, responsible for the fuckery. Come and we'll just close out.